Hello, my name's Jay Johnson,
And I'm Dr. Richard Hansen.
and here we have it, folks. SAM Phase 4 Easy Day. Dr. Hansen, people have seen almost all these exercises prior, so we might talk about some things that we haven't talked about before, but can you remind us why we're doing all these various planks?
Yeah, we're trying to train the core as a corset or as a unit so that we can stabilize the spine while the extremities move.
Yeah, exactly. And so, folks, you should understand most of these at this point. A lot of this is just review. I will say that now we're in phase 4. There's the supine plank, and then we'll see one coming up in a second where you're doing a supine with the leg lifts is a little more challenging. But Dr. Hansen, is it fair to say that that's why it's in phase 4? You should be strong enough to do that on your easy day.
Yeah, the first parts of phase 1, 2, 3, we're trying to train the core as a static unit. Now, with some of that endurance being built, we're moving the extremities, which challenges that core a little bit differently.
Yeah, so that exercise with the leg lifts is a little more challenging, but then you go back to this plank here, and it's not quite as challenging.
Yeah, exactly. It's like balancing a hard exercise followed by an easier one.
And folks, here's a good example that this might be challenging for some people. For other people, it isn't challenging. This is phase 4 easy, and if you're not ready for phase 4 easy, please don't progress to phase 4 hard or phase 5. So you've definitely got to be able to do this on your easy days, but you might do this on your hard days to begin with. So why are we doing this postural work, Dr. Hansen?
We're trying to work the lower shoulder blade stabilizers, especially with the thoracolumbar fascia, just building some postural endurance, which has been shown to help respiratory efficiency with good movement efficiency, and doing things like the clams. We call them dynamic range of motion, but they're still targeting some of the hip stabilizers that ultimately help slow the fatigue mechanism when you're getting a little bit tired deeper into those longer events.
Yeah, and is it fair to say that people have been doing these in the various phases, but we believe that you still should do some clams and some leg lifts and some things like that?
Yeah, most people call that their primary strength, but I see them as some of the ancillary strength to balance out with the hard days.
On the good morning, if you feel this in your high hamstring, should you not bend over quite as far?
No, the goal is to go up until you feel tension in the hamstring. You don't want to try to get as deep as you can. You want to keep the spine relatively neutral while you're doing that as well.
Great. And in this iron cross, he's doing a pretty good job of keeping his shoulders nice and quiet.
Yeah, the goal with all of these is just letting gravity kind of dictate the movement, and you add just a little bit of overpressure right at the end of that motion.
Great. Is this pretty good range of motion here? The angle. I mean, he's almost getting to 90 degrees with that foot.
Yeah, and when in that last exercise, you want to just make sure that you can keep that lower back flat against the ground.
Okay, great. And then these tend to feel good, the fire hydrants, and then we'll have some hip swivels coming up here.
Yeah, and as we mentioned in the previous videos, just make sure to keep those hips level. The goal here is pure hip range of motion, so you don't want that pelvis to rock side to side.
Right, and folks, you might see some examples. Unfortunately, some videos I've done in the past. People do have too much motion in their lower back, so that's just from the hip. Dr. Hansen, you said in an earlier video that the log rolls feel really good.
Yeah, it's joint play, so it almost feels like you're just kind of swishing the leg back and forth.
And then we're just ending here with some postural stuff.
Yeah, to get a little bit of thoracic spine extension, a little bit more mid-back mobility.
Okay, folks, you can find out more about Dr. Hansen and the group he coaches and works with, the Roots Running Project, at rootsrunning.org.